Hello, my friends. Jesse here, and we're about to do a code and game clash of code. I'm going to go ahead and share screen here. It just started, and this is going to be shortest mode. You have to pass the minimum number of tests with the lowest code size. All right. So let's see what we got here. Given n integers in an array A, reverse the digits of each integer in the array. Then calculate the absolute value of each integer and output the largest value. So n is the number of integers to be provided. A is the array of integers. Output line 1 is the highest of the reverse numbers in the array. And all right, highest of the reversed int numbers in the array. So we've got two integers here, 21 and what will end up being 49. And we want to, so the 21 turns into a 12, the 94 turns into a 49 because we're reversing its digits, and we end up with a 49 as the output because it wants the absolute value of each integer. All right, so we've got 13 minutes, more than 13 minutes to go, which is good because that gives us time to explain what's going on. I was hoping we'd get a shortest mode. I'm going to do this first in a just regular way without shortening it, and then we're going to try to reduce our code size. So first, uh, I am going to reduce our code size a little bit just by um, getting rid of unnecessary spaces. But it's still readable at this point. By the time I'm finished, it might not be readable, but we'll at least um, have the ability to explain what's going on. All right, so we're inputting the integer, and then we're going to be taking a string. And actually, I want to split that. I don't want a string. I want to make this a split. I want to make that an array. And so I might as well do it right there. So I don't really need the string as much as I need an array. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each element of the array and I'm going to reverse it. So for I in A, and I guess I could make maybe a B equals empty. So for I in A, um, let's do um, you know what I could do? No, I don't want to do that yet. When do we take the absolute value of it? I guess it's first the digits of each integer in the array. Hmm. I think we actually need to take the absolute value first. So I'm going to make this a equals map int and input dot split. I think that's going to do what I want it to do. Let me print A and see if it's generating what I'm trying to get. So not yet. Maybe int I. Maybe I could do it this way. I equals int I for I in input dot split. I think that would do it. Um, Maybe I could do a declaration of a list, and then over here this would be a plus equals, and I don't think I think it's gonna give me an error for that. Yeah, closing parentheses does not match opening parentheses. So do I have an extra? I guess I have an extra set of parentheses that I didn't mean to have there. Okay. All right. So that actually does do what I wanted it to do. So notice that it is, I'm taking the values that are in the list here, and I'm turning those into integers. I wonder if I could get rid of it like this. I don't think I need to open up a specific, I don't think I need to declare it. I think I can declare and assign at the same state, and yes, I can. All right, so this is a faster way of getting all those values. So now what I'm doing is I'm turning each of the I values into an integer for the I's that are in input dot split. So input dot split is turning it into turning the string into an array of these values, and then I'm turning it into an integer over here. Oh man, they've got some really low code sizes here. They must have used a lot of. Oh, I'm up against Composer. I've played him before. He's pretty good. So I'm gonna try to hopefully get my code, and I'm already at a code size that's larger than what these guys have. So I'm going to try to come in at maybe under 100 for my code size. I think I can do that. I still got some tricks up my sleeve to try here. But so far I'm really just getting the inputs and I haven't even done anything yet. All right, so we're gonna, maybe what I could do is for I in A, in range length A of I is equal to str of AI. I need to take the absolute value. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could take the absolute value up here. Let's try that. So I'm gonna, because I have to do an absolute value, because I want it to be, I want to switch this around to 49. I don't want to have that negative in there because it's messing it up, right? So I don't, I can't use the 94, negative 94. I've got to change this to a positive 94 and then reverse it. And so I think I can do that with I think I can do that with this. So let me try and see if that print still works. And yes, it did. And it got rid of that negative, which is exactly what I needed. So now I need to turn that back into a string and then reverse it and take the maximum of that. So that's basically what I'm trying to do. So in order to do that, I'm going to do for I in A. I equals str of I. So I'm turning it into a string, and then I'm reversing it, which is done this way. And then I'm turning that back into an integer so that I can compare which one's going to be the maximum. So print max of A. Let's see if that works. All right, so found 94, expected 49. And I think the reason is because maybe I could start a new list. It's not permanently changing what was in that list, but I can make this B plus equals, and I'm just going to take each of those values and then print max of B. That should work. Yeah, that works. So the problem is that it was reversing it here, but that reversal was immediately being undone when I was trying to modify list A. And what I'm doing instead is I opened up a new list and I'm storing those values that are reversed into a new list, because if I don't do that, then it's not going to stick, I guess is a way of putting it. It's telling me what the reversed value is here, but it wasn't storing it, replacing the values the way that I wanted it to. All right, so I've got a code size of 108. Let's see if I can cut this down to 100. That was my goal. It's not going to be enough to win this, but I rarely win against Composer. I usually, you can see he's level 42. He's, got quite a few languages here that he's practiced at, and he's a pretty skilled musician. And then this guy also has quite a few languages that he's experienced with. Pretty good programmer, so good job to those guys. I know I'm not going to be able to beat that code size, but maybe what I can do is just incorporate a few tricks here. So I'm going to do, let's say T equals T and P equals int input. So what I'm doing is I'm taking all of these instances of input of integer, and I'm going to replace those with T. So I'm abstracting a little bit here. This is called abstracting. So it's a way of like condensing what we have here into something that's kind of unreadable. And then the input, I'm going to replace that as well into P, because that's what I'm storing that command as. So I'm renaming these commands and input as T and P. So whenever I put T, the program knows that's what I mean integer. Whenever I put P, it knows that I mean input. And then I can just replace all of these with everywhere that there was an input or a print. I mean, it's going to give me an error now, but it's still going to give me a correct evaluation of this. So that's what I'm hoping for. So you can see it's giving me an EOF error, but it still says success. It's still playing it through. And I've got my code size reduced now to 104. Still not there to my goal. I think I can take one off right here. Let's see if that, yep. So I got rid of a space. Now we're down to 103. Where can I reduce this any further? Hmm. Still got 2 minutes and 55 seconds here. So we are not out of this yet. But again, I know I'm not gonna be able to get it quite down. And there are kind of limits to this because you can see if I did an X, let's say comma X, and then max, I think I'm actually gonna put myself in a worse position here if I try to replace too much. Yeah, see now I'm at a code size of 107 because it's more expensive in terms of characters to replace sometimes than it is to just let it be in there. And so I'm gonna get rid of, because I've got all these commas here that I didn't have before. And so it's easier since I'm just using this short 3-letter command right here, this max, it's easier to just leave it as it is. So, and that's also true of methods like split, not worth it to replace. I only did that with integer and input because I used integer in multiple places. I used input in multiple places. So I'm getting a little bit of a payoff. You can see I was able to reduce that a few characters. A note about this, by the way, this is not something that you would do in real life. Like this is unreadable. So production quality code, you're not going to ever do this. It's just for like a little fun and games kind of thing. I'm going to load up ChatGPT, and we talked about this in the last code club, and I put it on my wife's computer. I was recording it, so I'm gonna have to go look for that um, before I post it. But we talked a lot about ChatGPT in that. I'm gonna go ahead and log in using my Google account. It's going a little slow right now, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get in or not. I still got another minute, so we'll see here. No, it doesn't look like I'm getting in right now. I think it's just too busy. But I wanted to show you guys that it does have the ability to help you and to give you some ideas. So sometimes it can do the entire code for you if it's a really simple problem, but it's better used not as something to replace your work with. It's better used as something that can um, enhance your understanding so you can have some dialogue with it and it'll kind of tutor you on what you're doing. So at least that's how I use it. That's how I think is the best way to use it. I'm going to go ahead and submit. We're out of time. We only got 20 seconds left. So we're in third place. I'm going to share my code. And these guys are really nice. They actually did share it. So thank you guys. You're using Ruby, which is not the language that I speak, but this guy was using Python, wasn't able to finish it. So let's look at what they did. Yeah, you can do that in one line using Ruby. So it looks like he's printing dd.split from 1 to infinity dot map 1 to 1 to I dot abs digits times. Wow, I don't speak Ruby, but that is interesting that you can change that so completely with just a few letters. It's really amazing. So that's as best as I could understand it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Looks like we got third place, so not terrible. I'll take it. But that is it for this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.